Good evening. My name is Samuel Jackson. My student number is 940192. This is my presentation on Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, as you see here. This is the main sign at the main academy in Torrance, California. The main academy was in Rio de Janeiro. The style grew up in Rio de Janeiro, but now the headquarters, at least for this branch of the family, is in Torrance, California. I've been interested in martial arts all my life. When I stumbled across Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, I knew I had found one of the best styles that I'd ever seen for self-defense. Let's talk about where the style comes from. Now, this style is a style that grew out of Kodokan Judo, or Kodokan Jiu-Jitsu at the time, approximately 110 years ago. It was further developed from the Kodokan style by a Japanese young man named Issa Maeda. Issa Maeda was a great judoka. In fact, he was such a great judoka, he was considered one of the 4 top students of Jigoro Kano at the time. He was selected to be one of the guardians of the Kodokan. These were the 4 gentlemen who stood by to accept challenges from individuals from rival styles that would come to the Kodokan, to any school in Japan. But when they would come to the Kodokan for these challenges, one of the 4 men that would come out to face that challenger would be Issa Maeda. After doing that for a while, he was given the task of going around the world to popularize Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, as you were, Kano Jiu-Jitsu. So he went on a tour to Europe, to America, to Canada, to the Caribbean, to South America, and he finally wound up in Brazil. During that tour, he took matches of many types. He took grappling-only matches, grappling with out of the kimono, with a kimono. He had matches with no rules, anything to popularize the style. Well, when he wound up in Brazil, he wound up teaching the family, the children of a politician there. That politician was a gentleman named Gustavo Gracie. One of Gustavo Gracie's children was this young man, Helio Gracie. Helio Gracie learned the style from his older brothers. He actually learned a great deal of the style by just observing, because as a child he was too sickly to actually participate in jiu-jitsu or much else. At one point he was so sickly the doctors would not allow him to go to school. So when he finally was able to practice the art, being a small, frail man or child and then a man, his top weight was only 139 pounds. He found that he had to modify much of the style that Mr. Maeda used so that it would work for a smaller, frailer individual. So his style focused on the use of leverage and timing and speed and endurance. But in developing his style, he wound up putting together a style that actually allows a weaker man to be successful against a stronger man. In fact, Helio Gracie engaged in many challenge matches. Their school in Brazil, to popularize their style, one of the things they offered was what they called the Gracie Challenge. They would fight anybody, and if they were defeated in a no-rules match, they would pay $25,000. Well, nobody ever won that challenge. When they came to America, they offered a $100,000 challenge. Many people came to take the challenge. Nobody won that challenge. Later on, they wound up competing in what was called the Ultimate Fighting Championship, an event here where many styles came together and it worked as a laboratory so that the world could actually see what martial arts worked and what didn't. We were able to see that one of the top self-defense martial arts was Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, as they dominated in this no-holds-barred mixed rules fighting. It was so good that we, the U.S. military, adopted their style. The Army adopted the system wholesale and the Marine Corps took most of the grappling and added it to what we had. And you see pictures here of Marines and soldiers actually practicing the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu as part of our martial arts curriculum for the Marine Corps, the Marine Corps Martial Arts Program, for the Army, the Modern Army Combatives Program. It worked very well. Some of the ideas with the style in a basic fight: one, you don't want to be here. You don't want to be close enough where a guy can touch you on the chin. You want to be either too far away, or you want to be too close, but not in that middle zone where you can get knocked out. Now, here's an example. So I was too far away, then I used a kick to close the distance, took my opponent down, and finished him off on the ground. And with the style, that's the idea. You want to take your opponent to the ground, finish your opponent on the ground, or if you're standing, you want to be in a clinch, because there's no boxers ever knocked anybody out in the clinch. You knock people out on the end of the punches. It's an excellent martial art, a fun style to practice, and it gives people, military and law enforcement, a humane way to fight against an opponent. By taking the opponent to the ground and there applying submission holds, handcuffing the opponent, etc. Thank you very much. This is my presentation.